Water. It covers 3/4 of the planet, but less than 1% of that is usable by humans and land animals. Think of it this way. Just 1 teaspoon out of a gallon is usable. That makes it pretty easy to see why it's important to take care of our fresh water. Here at Frederik Meijer Gardens and Sculpture Park, we do. Our 132-acre grounds include wetlands that naturally clean and filter the water that enters our ecosystem. But there is only so much they can do. This is why we take proactive steps to keep pollution out of the water in the first place. You might think that major events like oil spills are the worst kind of pollution, but they aren't. Pollution picked up along the way by rushing rainwater is actually a bigger threat to the environment. That's called stormwater runoff. It's the form the water takes, runoff, that's a problem, not the stormwater itself. Stormwater is part of the natural water cycle, part of the constant movement of water from sky to earth and back again. In an undeveloped area of forests and meadows, the soil soaks up a lot of the rain and snowmelt. But buildings, streets, and sidewalks interrupt that cycle because most of the materials used to make them stop rain from soaking into the ground. Instead, the water runs along the surface, eroding soil and picking up sediment, oil, pesticides, and trash. And because it can't seep into the ground, the water doesn't cool the way it should. Eventually, this warm, polluted runoff ends up in lakes and rivers where it can hurt fish, wildlife, and plants. Left uncontrolled and untreated, water runoff is a threat to the environment. At Meijer Gardens, we understand that our water is part of the regional watershed. What we do with it affects our neighbors. To minimize our effect on the water cycle, we do 4 things to slow down, clean up, and cool off the water. One of the things we've done is to practice good parking lot hygiene. For example, instead of using traditional parking lot islands, our parking lots direct the water through engineered landscape depressions, which allow the water to seep into the ground as quickly as possible. This innovative approach led to the effective use of rain gardens in today's parking lot designs.
We decided that we were going to design into the parking lot and for the building a system of best management practices that actually collected the stormwater runoff through depressions. Instead of islands that you see in parking lots, we turned those into depressions where water could be collected and filtered through plants and soil, kind of the precursor to today's rain gardens. We won several awards through our professional societies for the innovative stormwater management system.
The second thing we do to take care of the water is to put our ponds to work for us. We direct the water to our ponds and they act as holding tanks. This is especially important during the first rain after a dry spell because pollution is most concentrated then. While the water is in the ponds, sunlight removes iron and other pollutants. The plants do their part too in cleaning the water.
Water is important to everything we do here. You know, we have to have it to really develop a nice garden. Excess water flows have to be treated in a special way, and we believe we've done that.
The water is filtered by the plant material, it's filtered by our landscapes, and the water that does end up down in our wetlands, for example, is then filtered even more by the slow flow of that water through the wetlands.
The Hoffman Family Pond has an additional job. It supplies water to our irrigation system, and that irrigation system is the third way we care for our water. We call it just enough watering.
Our irrigation system starts really with our weather station. And our weather station produces an ET number, which is an estimate of how much water has evapotranspirated out of the plants for the day. Based on that information, it generates a runtime for every station here at the gardens.
It manipulates the run times so that everything gets watered in such a way that each zone only gets what's needed for water. Every single sprinkler head, every single weeper hose all gets fed from the Hoffman Pond.
The final thing we do to protect our water is to send it on a rejuvenating journey. It meanders through the grounds, embraced by even more plants that absorb some of the water and clean it before it returns to the atmosphere. These are the key ways we keep our water clean. It's all part of the commitment we made to protect the wetlands when we selected this beautiful site, and part of our larger commitment to be good neighbors and good stewards of the environment. Good stewardship means constantly exploring new ways to protect our most valuable resources. It's a journey that never ends, and one of the many reasons why Frederik Meijer Gardens and Sculpture Park is always beautiful, always new.